Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Getty's Live Talk, hashtag Disruptive Education. I am your host, Zaina Molai. I'm a Getty trainer, and I'm your host for today's talk. So, Getty is one of the most premium training institute in India. Getty provides two types of training: pre-service for the aspiring teachers, and in-service for the teachers who are already in service and want to enhance their teaching skills. We are also conducting on this live forum, live talks under the banner Detox by Global Education and Training Institute. We are moving towards disruptive education mission under the broad vision of Dr. Sunita Gandhi. We are committed and we are working towards bringing about transformative changes in education, hence these endeavors. Today, we are very pleased to have amongst us Mr. Saurabh Gupta, Assistant Professor, Bapu Banarsi Das University. He has done his master's in business administration from MIT University in marketing and finance, and as a specialization he has a 2 years experience of industry, particularly marketing and advertisement world, and 9 years of teaching experience. He is pursuing his PhD in marketing uh, from the same university. And Saurabh Gupta has many awards to his name for his contribution in the field of social work, particularly for Help Age India, Ca- uh, Cancer Aid Society, Astha Foundation, etc. He is also associated with teaching disciplines of yoga and is associated with art of living as his hobby. A very warm welcome to you, sir, and we'll be delighted to hear your inputs on the topic. Over to you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Good evening to all my lovely viewers. Today, I, Saurabh Gupta, is going to present a topic in front of you, and the topic of mine is advertising, a lethal weapon, creating a dark side of consumer behavior with respect to middle class consumer. Now, what I'm going to talk about is all about the concepts of advertising, the concepts of consumer behavior, and at the same time, I'll be particularly targeting the middle class consumers. Now, as we all know, that advertising doesn't have its own persona. You can say that it doesn't have its own identity. It takes the identity of a particular ad, or you can say a particular company of which it is being promoted. Like, as per the definition of William J. Stanton, advertising consists of all the activities in presenting to a group of non-personal, oral, and visual openly sponsored message regarding the product, service, or an idea. So basically, what exactly is advertising? It's all about a non-personal and an oral, and at the same time, it is a visual appeal. One can say that advertising is all about alluring a particular consumer. Like this particular ad of Surf Excel, you can say dark, say Roshan Diwali. The moment you say this particular tagline, it automatically clings into your mind that something is going to happen, which is being very, very associated with the aspect of making much more friendly to the people of consumers aspects. At the same time, it is going to be a direct link of communication between your existing consumers and those you want to pursue in the near future. So basically, what advertising is doing is that it is going to target your present consumer. At the same time, it is also going to target your future aspects also. Now, when you say what do you mean by the term consumer behavior? According to the words of Loudon and Beta, consumer behavior is a decision process and physical activity which individuals engage in when evaluating, acquiring, using, and disposing of goods and services. So basically, what exactly is consumer behavior? It's a kind of behavior which the person who is going to firstly consume the product and is going to adopt that. Let's say, suppose I want a particular mobile, and now I'm going to look for what kind of brand I'm going to associate myself. I say I want a mobile which is going to be very, very friendly with me. So I will look for the price centric. So for me, the behavior aspect is price. For other people, it may be, you can say, a brand aspects. It depends upon the age, the class, and the personal or the mentality of the persons. So basically, Lauren and Beta focuses upon the aspect of that basically consumer behavior. It's a kind of a behavior aspect that is going to evaluate, acquire, using and disposing of goods and services particularly. It is expected by understanding what causes the consumer to buy a product. Like, say, I have a behavior of mine that I only go for branded products. So this behavior will indulge into buying of mine to a particular product that will categorize into the aspect of behavior centrics. Now, when you talk about middle class, let's now come to the particular topic of what exactly do we mean by the term middle class. Middle class consumer consists of thriving and vibrant catalyst of economic growth. Now, why I'm saying that this particular, why actually I've not taken the upper class or the below class, I've taken the middle class. Basically, middle class is a kind of a vibrant catalyst for the economic growth purposes. At the same time, as per the aspect of late Lester Theron, eminent MIT economist, he told that for a healthy middle class, it is necessary to have a healthy political democracy. So, if you want that your particular country should have a very good democracy aspect, you have to have the understanding of the concept of middle class. And who are middle class? They are neither rich or nor they are poor. They are some kind of consumer who will particularly focus upon the aspect of need first, and then the want, and then the desire. Talking about the Asian consumers, we often come across the aspect of that what kind of consumer is Asian consumer all about. So Asian consumers is all about the aspect of targeting particularly on the need centric aspects. Talking about middle class in general sense, middle class consumer tend to focus upon the family plan ahead for the future and future importance of the image. What I mean to say over here is that the upper class of the society, not to be very authentic about some people, some kind of people and all, but what upper class is doing, upper class is focusing upon the desire. So what it is doing, it is basically manipulating and making the kind of a desire centric into the mind of the behavior. So middle class focuses first upon the family values, then on the aspect of future importance of their image and all, and then middle class consumers only focuses primarily on the health aware and eco-friendly aspects. At the same time, if you talk about what percentage of middle class consumer India has, so India has 55% of Indian population is expected to join the rank of middle class by end of 2025. But what actually happened, just because of the aspect of COVID 19, there was a shrunk of 32 million in 2020, and as a result of which, 60% of the entire population decrypted considerably, and the middle class income went down. But but even though, despite of these disturbances and all, they were able to maintain their status and they are spending audaciously. Why? The concept is that they want to maintain their living and they believe that they are not rich. They cannot go for the desire aspects of, say, you can just any middle class person will never be able to target their behavior onto the aspect of buying some very elite type of products. They will just target towards the need first, and then the wants, and then the desires. Then as per, even though because of the low income aspects, they believe that they have to make the sustenance possible. This was all about the aspect of middle class. Now, let us come across a very important aspect. Why advertising is important? See, marketing is a very interesting phenomena, and if you just study on the aspect of promotion aspect, so you can say the marketing mix concept. You have promotion being the essential ingredient of marketing, because unless and until you promote something, the particular consumer won't be able to entice upon that this is the product all about. So one of the major and one of the most efficient and eminent aspect of promotion is that of advertising, and that what is an importance of it? It generates brand loyalty. We say that we want Patanjali products. Why? Because Swami Ramdev ji has contributed the aspect of creating a brand loyalty into the aspect by making advertising so much so alluring. They just do it spontaneously, continuously, and all. Increasing the company's traffic. It considerably increases the company's traffic particularly. It gives your company a positive image. Yes. Now, the moment you see this particular ad, G for genius or G made genius, this particular thing automatically strike into the mind that if you're going to have this kind of product, this will make a particular child very genius and all. So talking about the particular advertising and all, it first create the brand loyalty, and at the same time it is going to increase the company traffic, and on the next aspect, it increases the positive image of the company. Talking about further, it attracts new consumers. You can say that, in the previous slides of mine, I just discussed about the aspect of that. It particularly caters upon the new consumers. Yes, it do caters the new consumers because see, the world is very materialistic in nature and everything has been commercialized. So you can do it only by the means of attracting new consumer. If you want to have some new consumers, you need to have the concept of advertising with you. And the next aspect is that of it promotes repeat business. Like say suppose why Coca-Cola, a very long prominent brand who has a very good brand image, still needs to focus upon Thanda Matlab Coca-Cola. Why? Because this is the tagline, or this is the thing which people is associating with themselves. At the same time, it helps your business to compete in a considerable manner. It produces continuous business, and also it keeps your business at the top in the mind of consumer. The moment you say this Germy ad of Pepsodent and they said Pepsodent is now better than Colgate and all, it makes a comparison, or you can say it plunges into the mind of the consumer that this is something all about which I want to buy and all. It keeps the consumer up to date. It makes the money for the company considerably. Now, like we all say that to everything there is a darker side also. What advertising has done? Advertising has catered to the human behavior. It has allured consumer quite a lot, and at the same time, it has conceptualized the person in such a manner that a darker behavior came into existence. What actually happened? The concept of impulsive buying, the concept of impulsive behavior, the concept of compulsive buyers, the concept of materialistic approach, the consumer theft, the advertising terrorism, all kind of things are being done by the help of advertisement only. See, on one end, it is a very positive sense, and on the other hand, it has created a kind of a darker behavior. How? I'm going to tell you. Talking about consumer behavior, we say if there is a, like I told you, that it is the consumer is going to make the particular product very very authentic in nature. So what actually happens is that darker behavior is being moderated in terms of being impulsive in nature. What advertising has done, advertising has created a very powerful impact into the mind of the consumers in such a way that people are now being spontaneously buying no matter what. They just buy it because once they are being allured by the particular product, they just buy it continuously, and this is being adopted with the aspect of impulsive buying and compulsive buying. Now, talking about another aspect of consumer behavior being a darker aspect, materialism has gained lots and lots of importance. Now, if you say that why Tanishq is being continuously proposing on the aspect of launching the product with a deity on embossed onto the gold jewelry, or why it is said that if you just make a gold deity or deity out of gold, it will just going to solve your purpose. Because people are now materialistic in nature, because they believe that even though come what may, the materialistic approach is going to has driven so much so into the mind of the people that they believe that if the deity is made out of, if it is cast out of gold, it is going to fulfill our wishes considerably. At the same time, another darker behavior is that of compulsive nature. Compulsive nature, we know, like say for example, we know that taking those type of steroids or taking those type of health drink and all, or those supplements will decrypt our body image, or it will just decrypt our muscles considerably. But even though just to have a better physique, or to just in attraction aspects of getting more and more people dive into our personality in general, we take all those supplements. We know that cigarette is injurious for health, but still we just take it out of our plight. This is all about compulsion. We are being compulsively being driven towards that particular product considerably. At the same time, now let us see that what exactly has impulsive behavior being targeted upon. Rook and Hoch said that individual, not the products, who experience the impulse of consume. See, the particular Apple mobile doesn't say to you that please buy me. It is the allurement, or you can say it is an excitement. The moment you see the new launch of a mobile, you just say that I just want to have that particular thing. Why? Because this is a kind of an impulsive nature which you adopt considerably in nature in the aspects of behaviors. Now, talking about the effect, what impulsive behavior has done considerably well. See, what actually happens is that people that Impulsive buyer or impulsive when you have bought something impulsively, buyer is being remorse set. There is a kind of remorse which comes into your mind. Like say, you don't want a sari, but still you buy a sari and you keep it in your cupboard. What you will do, you will just take it out, think about a thing that whether I have to buy this in a very should I just buy it or should I not. So kind of a remorse is struck into the mind of behavior. And this, just because of this, what you do, you just return it. Now what actually happens, you buy a product in the spur of moment, and then you return it. It becomes a very chaos for the salesperson to just pack it again and just keep it in the cupboard and all. This is going to get a kind of a negative behavior or a negative gesture, that people buy it, they just dispose it, they just buy it again, then they sell it again, then they buy it again, then they just go on with again. So this continuous behavior is going to create a kind of a random processes and all. Consumer purchase the item not know, like, I don't know what is smartphone, but even despite of that, I buy an Apple mobile. Now, I don't know how to use it, but still I buy it because of the spur of moment. So this kind of behavior will be a darker behavior for the people, because they believe that that I want to just go for that thing because either the society or something like that has been created in an aspect of behavior aspects. Secondly, impulse buys is the most not rated for the higher consumers. So talking about what impulsive buying has done, what considerably impulsive buying has done, impulsive buying has created a kind of a culture wherein people are buying in the spur of moment, but they don't know what they are buying in reality, and this has created a kind of a havoc in this in the field of consumerism, or in the field of marketing and marketing arena. Secondly, it is believed that there was a survey being conducted in which it was said that we men, by with the impulsive behavior, we have a very impulsive behavior as compared to that of human nature. Now, this, the darker side of consumer behavior, if we talk about materialistic approach. Now, this cartoon of mine says that never mind, I'm going to demand for a particular Range Rover or a plasma TV. Now, Santa Claus is being associated with with distributing of gift. We say that materialistic approach is being so much so centering into the mind of the consumer behavior, that people believe that it's an unrealistic approach. People buy a product because they want to buy it to just show it to someone, or to just because they want the society to create a kind of a, they believe that okay, I have it, no one else have it, this kind of attitude. This has driven the kind of a materialistic approach into the mind of the consumers. And what has it done? It has contributed, it has fostered the aspect of throwaway society. Now, what do I mean by this particular term for throwaway society? A new society has emerged just because of this materialistic nature. Even though I have a laptop of mine and it is working perfectly okay, but I still believe I should have a MacBook Air. Why? Because my neighbor has it, because my people have it. No, this kind of behavior has created though advertisement, though the ad world has done pretty well, it is contributing to the mind of the consumer, but this has fostered to the aspect of throwaway society considerably well. Similarly, this particular aspect of compulsive behavior, like I've told you, that even though they know that they don't need this particular product, this is going to harm their individuality, this is going to harm their behavior in general, but they buy it no matter why or no matter what they want. Secondly, like in this particular cartoon of mine, I have just said that they know that these kind of gifts and these type of things are not being done for their behavior, but they just buy it. They just buy it with because it is a compulsion. We as a consumer believe, as when we are being struck with the aspect of compulsive behavior, we believe that compulsive, it is a compulsory factor to have this thing. It is we now believe it is compulsory to have those big biceps. We believe that it is compulsory to have those kind of smoking habit, because everyone likes it. So this is kind of a culture which is being adopted quite an often. And now I have termed advertising a lethal weapon. Why? Because see, it's a lethal weapon. Why? Because I'm terming it as a lethal weapon because even though advertising is a very good friend of marketing and it has contributed pretty well, but at the same time, everyone is advertising. May it be IBM, may it be Dell, may it be Kellogg's, may it be Disney, may it be anything. It advertise. Everyone advertise. So it has become a kind of a fish market type of thing. Advertising cannot produce guaranteed result. See, Disney has always contributed to the to the field of new movies and all, but there are a few films of Disney which has not done pretty well. So if you said that it's been promoted by Disney, why it has not been done pretty well? So this is the kind of a narrative which is being done, which the particular person is going to behave in general aspects. Secondly, potential consumer may be on multiple platform aspects. Secondly, fake news is being developed considerably. See, if you say that drinking a particular Coke is going to boost your power, a particular child of say 5 to 10 years will drink Coke and then they believe that this is going to give them power and all. This is the kind of fake news that has transferred a lethal aspect into the mind of the consumers. Secondly, there is an increase in the brand message being trashed. Aao manaye Tanish wali Diwali. This was being propagated by Tanish quite an often. So, do this particular brand say want to say that if you don't buy a Tanish jewelry, you won't be able to maintain your Diwali? This is what it means. So, this though they do not mean to say this, but this message is being trashed. This you can just tarnish according to your needs and requirements. Secondly, now we are going to focus upon the aspect how we are going to make it a lethal weapon, a friendly one. You have to, if you want to make a very good ad of yours, you must be make a proposition of not only words, but you have to show your advertising constricted on the need aspect of the consumer. Like I've told you, the middle class consumer is being propagated pretty well, but at the same time you have to focus upon the words aspect. Think about those simple words, think about those simple language. Only then you can just make the artisan much more prettier. And at the same time, like in Cadbury it is said that is rakhi kuch acha ho jaye, kuch meetha ho jaye. This is the kind of a very very emotional aspect that is going to create a kind of an image into the mind of the consumer that yes, if I'm going to give this type of an attribute, this is going to be a kind of a this is going to grab an attention of every individual in general. So you should have a very positive line of yours. At the same time, you need to talk about the benefit aspect considerably. Then, creating an effective and is great, but your advertisement won't get far until and unless you make customer happy. Don't worry, be happy. This is what Mr. Bachchan wants to say. But you have to remember that if you want your consumer to be the best, you have to be in the moment of the aspects. Now, in the end, I would just like to conclude by saying that advertising has done a pretty well in the field of promotion. But even though it needs to work on pretty well, and at the same time, you have to concentrate upon the aspect of that there is a darker side to which you cannot foster the darker side now. So advertising needs to pull up the socks pretty well and make it much more considerable so that the things can be more and more successful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for giving such an amazing presentation. It was very interesting, and like you highlighted the facts, like we as a consumer lying in this trap, as you said, that we don't realize that we don't need this particular thing, or like at some point of time we feel guilty as a parent, that we are not able to provide this particular
Why do
thing
you think
or
so
to
much?
our to my kids, or at point like you said that Tanishk wali Diwali, there are people
Yes,
who are not buying from Tanishk, they are, and still they have a blast on Diwali. So
yes,
this is
yes. And
this.
advertising has done this kind of an aspect that we still believe that if you're going to like there was an ad of Tanishq only, though I'm not being any kind of centric towards a particular ad, but they just told that if you're going to buy a particular jewelry for your spouse, only then you can celebrate that Karwa Chauth aspect. So if a middle class consumer or a middle class husband comes to a particular family and then he says that I won't be able to buy, I don't have the money, so this is mean that entire festival is going to be in a havoc situation. So this is what the company has done.
Yes, and like I would like to ask you one thing, that as you are teaching marketing to your students and you have been in the field of marketing and advertising, uh, so how did you teach your children to make such kind of ads, and like to stay away from these things, and like they must be in the market now, as you have
Yeah,
been in this
they are in the
field
market
of.
and they're doing pretty well. See,
Okay.
basically, my perception is that I believe I also teach communications, and I believe that the message should be clearer, and at the same time, the message should have some kind of intensity. Like I told that is still a very very long or an old line of coke. Thanda matlab coco. Like it thanda matlab the moment you go to a rural area or the moment you go to an urban area, you just say thanda matlab they just give out Coca-Cola to you. Why? Because Coke has created a kind of a very very simple tagline, thanda matlab Coca-Cola. And this is what I mean to say. Be simple, be clearer, you can do anything. This is what I try to teach my people.
Yes, yes, that is very interesting. So, as we have like schools have also started these subjects of marketing and advertising for
That's,
class 11 and 12 and communication as well. I hope
that's,
like my teachers are taking note of the things that you have told, and they'll definitely teach their students in that way.
sure.
And we definitely like the advertisers need to take a step for this, that they stop exploiting the middle class population,
Yes,
because they
you
are.
cannot do that thing because see, as it is, we know that consumers are being exploited, and as we all are aware that the COVID situation has not done pretty well, and we are not going to so proceed in the near future also, and China is taking a hold of the economy, but still, the advertising should be taking much more into the arena of considering the middle class much more better.
Hmm, yeah, okay. So anything else would you like to say, sir?
See this basically I would firstly I would just like to thank Gary, and I would just like to thank you that you have just given me a very very great opportunity that I would able to express my opinion because this is the necessary aspect in the mind of the people that what actually happens in this practical world is that because when everything is being commercialized and everything is being propagated quite and often, so people do not actually realize that what they are doing, and middle class is being exploited again and again. It is being exploited continuously at this, and they are just being, and this has given a rise to the aspect of impulsive buying, to the aspect of consumer terrorism, to the aspect of, you can say, many, like there was an article which I was reading a few days back that they have just announced a particular sale for say 5 minutes and all. They just say that I'm going to open this particular gate for you, and you're going to just you have just 5 minutes, and just you just spend it. There was a stampede, and this stampede took a life of an individual. So this is what is happening. This is the, do the company want this? I don't think so. But this is what we need to check upon, that middle class should not be exploited any of the way.
So, like we have been discussing about the advertisers. So, can't we, as school leaders, we are like transforming the society, we are formulating the society, which will be like the citizens of tomorrow. So, can't we change the mind of our students to be less impulsive and to be intelligent buyers?
See, ma'am, actually, the thing is that impulsion is a kind of a behavior that arises at a spur of moment. A particular person or a particular child of, say, you can say 5 to 10 years, go to a particular shop, and the moment you see a particular toy of his own, even though he has a big range of toys, big range of things, but he will buy it because he is being impulsively driven toward the aspect. Secondly, I would just now I will increase the age. Now let's say that I want to go to I just go to a particular showroom, Bata, and I want to buy a slipper of mine. Now the moment I see a new pair of hush puppies, I just say that okay, this is a very good brand. I must buy it, though I don't need it, but I'll still buy it just because of the spur of moment. So this impulsive nature, you can check it, but you cannot eradicate it, because we can we cannot they are very these consumers are very very tender, and now a new brigade of consumers being arising, those child consumers are be arising, those women consumers are be arising. You cannot just say that don't buy it. You can just tell them that yes, this is good and this is bad, and though you don't want it, but you just have it. So this is what I mean to say. You just can't channelize the thing, but you can just make it much more easier for them.
Like just I wanted to say that you gave an example of a small child who is tempted towards a toy. So being a parent of a toddler, I think I cater to my child's needs. I tell them that you have this toy and you cannot buy another one until you donate a few of yours.
Perfect. That is a perfect example. That is a perfect example, ma'am.
And like things like this could be done with the consumers also. Like we keep blaming the other party, but being the torch bearers of the society, we can enlighten the mind of our students so that they don't do these temptations kind of buying.
We
We
can
can
go
tell
for
them that like
yeah, we can.
you yeah. So this could be a point taken by our viewers also. So
Perfect.
by this, we come to an end of our session. Anything else would you like to enlighten us with, sir, or would you
See,
like
the
to?
thing is that now the advertisers should really pull up the socks. It's a very crucial time. You should all should be safe enough. We all are being doubly vaccinated, and Mr. Modi is being doing considerably pretty well, making the society enlightened quite an often. So when like earlier, the people were not into the aspect. The people were not so much so aware of the concepts of becoming a superpower. But now we are becoming a superpower. So there is a chance that India can be a superpower. It can be from developing. We can develop. We can be successful. So think about that direction. Work on that.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for such a lovely discussion
Thank you.
post your presentation,
Thank
and
you, man. Thank you.
have a lovely evening ahead. Bye
Same to
bye,
you, man.
and thanks to my audience as well who have
Thank
been watching us
thank
and have been in touch with us. The audience can type their questions in the comment box, and Mr. Gupta can come and answer your question as and when he gets time on Facebook and on YouTube. Till then, have a lovely evening ahead. Bye bye. Stay safe. Thank you so much, Saurav sir.
thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, my audience. Thank you.